I woke up this morning with a sterling idea to take the dog to the park and catch up with my mates. I rolled out of bed a bit too quickly and fell on the flooring. I stood up, drew the curtain, I had to rustle around for some clothes. I grabbed my long glow-in-the-dark t-shirt and I walked down the hall to the kitchen for breakfast. Gordon was standing in the kitchen with a cuppa and a biscuit. I asked him, "Hey, where's Bruce?" He replied,
G'day Fraser. Yeah, Bruce has ducked down to the shops to get some Kingston biscuits.
Just then Bruce returned from the shops. I told him about my idea to go to the park and invited him to join me. "Sounds great," he said. "I'll bring my dog too." So we grabbed our things, closed the theatre behind us, and we ventured out to see Watson at the parks. Going round and round with all these spacious surrounds, Black Mountain Tower, I see the whole town. Round and round in the bush capital town, Canberra, that's where I'm found. As we were leaving the house, there was a hawker on the front veranda selling Red Hill apples. Bruce couldn't hack it and told the guy to piss off. I said I was interested if the guy offered me a Kippax fair price. The guy said I could have half a dozen in exchange for something of mine. The good old barter system. "All right," I said, "I'll give you a packet of Palmerston cheese." Done deal. The guy was happy with that, and I now had what I needed to cook an apple pie later on. We jumped in the Ford with the Dunlop tyres. Bruce shouted, "Oh, cotter damn!" I said, "What is it, mate?" He goes, "Oh man, we got ourselves a Mulligan's flat tyre." I was like, "Don't worry, there's a spare tyre and jacker in the boot." Anyway, once that was sorted, we were on our green way to the dog park. Bruce's dog is a Jack Russell called Narrabundah, while I've got a little ACT, an Australian Capital Terrier called Latham. At the dog park, we ran into Harrison. I like Harrison, he's a good chap, man. He's the deacon at the local church and has a good sense of humour. He was out enjoying the lovely day, walking his two dash hounds, Throz A and Throz B. Good grief, Moncrief, Bruce exclaimed. "Look who's over there." Sitting on a park bench was our old mate Mitchell. And you wouldn't believe it, with him, holding hands, were both Kayleen and Ainsley. I said, "Wowee, Gowrie." Mitchell must have patched things up with the ladies since the last time we saw them. Bruce chimed in with a bit of gossip. He said, "Word on the Bunda Street is that the three of them went to a Swingers Hill party together." "Whose dog is that?" I asked, quickly changing the subject. "That's Isaac's dog," Bruce replied. "Yeah, Isaac was telling me that he had to take the dog to the event last week. Things took a turner for the worse and they were thinking they might have to put it downer, but the dog has since made a full recovery." I said, "Well, that's good news. I guess all's well that ends well." Going round and round with all these spacious surrounds, Black Mountain Tower, I see the whole town. Round and round in the bush capital town, Canberra, that's where I'm found. This walk and the dog business was thirsty work. Bruce said, "Hey Fraser, you want to go to the pub for a drink?" I was like, "Yeah dude, Cowabunga Yarralumla, let's Pialigo." So we went to King O'Malley's in Civic. We bumped into the four Scottish lads, McGregor, McKellar, MacArthur and Campbell. They were having a drink with their mate McNamara, who was visiting from out of town, a place far, far away. We found a table and took a seat. I said to Bruce, "Hey mate, I'm going up to the Can Bar to get a drink. You want something?" Bruce was like, "Yeah mate, I'll have a gin and derra, thanks." "No worries," I said. "For myself, I'll have a Kinley cider." The pub had a really good atmosphere. There was a live Rhythm and Hughes band playing in the corner. In the other corner was an open fireplace full of burning charmwood, keeping the place toasty and warm. Sitting at the table across from us was Barry. Barry is a well-known cracist. He dislikes anyone that comes from Crace. He was sitting with his lady friend, Chisholm. Chisholm's claim to fame is that she once met the famous comedy trio, the Three Ronnies, Aaron, Sharon and Garen. While we were enjoying a few drinks, Barry grabbed his car keys getting ready to drive home, but he could hardly stand up. I looked at Bruce and said, "Hey mate, we shouldn't let Barry drive. He's totally girrelanged." "Yeah, you're right mate." Bruce turned to Barry. "Drink driving's against the law, son. Here, let me get you a bowl of Franklin water, help sober you up." Barry kept sculling his beer. He didn't want the water. I was like, "You don't have to drink the water, mate. No one's holding a gun garland to your head. But read the room. Everyone thinks you should catch an Uber home." Anyway, long story short, Chisholm called an Uber and the driver arrived in his Ford Fathom and Barry was taken safely home. Going round and round with all these spacious surrounds, like mountain, tower, I see the whole town. Round and round in the bush capital town, Canberra, that's where I'm found. Well, it was time to go home, but we'd had a few drinks ourselves, so we decided to catch the light rail. Sitting across from us on the tram was Philip. Philip, of course, is Richardson. Sitting with Philip was Taylor. Last time we saw Taylor, she was up to Duffy. But today she was nursing her baby boy, Evan. They were playing a game of Simonston Says. And just then, all of a sudden, the tram came to a screeching halt. There was an Amaroo jumping across the tracks. The tram driver, Mr. Troon, he did really well not to hit the roo. Yeah, well done, Troon. So we got off the tram at our stop and started walking home across the Emu Ridge. We'd had another awesome day in our nation's capital. And then, from out of nowhere, the heavens opened up and it started to pour with rain. There were torrents of water everywhere. Ah, bless the rains down in Aranda. We were getting soaking wet. Bruce said, "I'll race you back to the house." I was like, "Oh, you're on, mate. Catch me if you can, bruh." Going round and round with all these spacious surrounds, like mountain, tower, I see the whole town. Round and round in the bush capital town, Canberra, that's where I'm found. Round and round with all these spacious surrounds, like mountain, tower, I see the whole town. Round and round